Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Heathered Knits. I am really glad that you are taking a little bit of time out of your day today to come and chat with me a little bit while I talk to you a little bit about the things that I've been knitting and what's kind of been going on in our lives for the last month. Today is Friday, April 8th. It's already April and I'm still wearing like hand knits because the weather's not great here in mid-Michigan, where I live with my two children, Abby, who is 16, and Philip, who will actually be 12 in like a week and a half, which is kind of hard to believe. So this is a podcast where I talk a lot about my knitting, what I've been doing in my life, those sorts of things. For those of you who are coming back, thank you so much for coming back and spending a little bit of time with me. For those of you who are just checking me out for the first time, welcome. I'm really glad that you are here. I do appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me, and we'll talk a little bit about knitting. I do talk about knitting first, and then I'll go and kind of talk about things that have been going on with our lives. So if you're not interested in that, that's completely fine. You don't have to stick around for that. You can move on at that point. That's completely fine. That's not everybody's cup of tea. I will say right off the bat too, I do have a Patreon page that I will link down below. With the Patreons, you get access to a Discord server, which I really need to be a lot better of being active on because I haven't been super great with that. But you also get early access to these videos as well as mostly weekly updates on what I've been working on and whips and whatnot. It's only $1. It's not something that I'm looking to like earn revenue on. I just wanted to create a space specifically for the community that is looking for a little bit more interaction. So if you're interested in that, the link is down below and maybe I'll see you there. Knitting it's been kind of touch and go the last month. I have 3 finished objects because I don't think I was done with my sweater when I last recorded. If I was, you're gonna see it again. So forgive me if I've forgotten because I may have. And then I also finished 2 pairs of socks. One of them I don't have with me because I gave it to a friend of mine, but I'll insert a picture of those when the time comes. But first, I finished my Gardengate pullover, which is a colorwork pattern by Jennifer Steingass, and I'm pleased. I'm pleased. So I'm gonna show you what the yoke looks like. I'll show you what the sleeves look like and whatnot. So here it is. And then the sleeves also have the colorwork detail on them. I knit this out of Knit Picks Stroll. The main color is called Pearlescent. It did this like striping thing, which I was not expecting, especially since I was alternating skeins. But I'm okay with the striping. It's really grown on me and I like it quite a bit. And then the contrast color is like a very rich purple, and I believe that's called Duchess Heather. So those were the 2 colorways that I used to knit this. It's very soft, it's very warm and cozy. I have worn it because, like I said, we have not had nice weather. So I have worn this. And I do like it. The one thing about it is the yoke is a little bit like too deep for me, so it kind of can bunch a little bit up around here. And I don't know what I might have done differently to prevent that from happening. Maybe just changing my needle size. I had gauge, but maybe that, and it's okay like across my shoulders, it's just like the depth of it what makes it sit a little funny. Like the armpits kind of hang down here, and it's not a drop sleeve like this because it's yoked. So I don't know, it sits a little strange like across the chest, but I don't really care because I like it and I'm happy how it turned out, and it's very warm and it's very cozy and I like that. So I'm not complaining. I finished a pair of vanilla socks as well. This was using some Knit Picks Felici that I had. I actually only have 1 ball left of Knit Picks Felici, and I'm gonna be knitting a hat with that, and I'll show you my progress on that in just a few minutes. But I knit these. The colorway I think is called Stone Harbor or something like that. Just a pair of vanilla socks that are stripy. These will go in the sock basket that Abby and I have. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more knitting of socks for other people just because we have a lot of socks for ourselves. And I would like to gift some a little bit more than I have in the past. Socks have always been kind of a weird thing to gift with getting like foot size right and stuff, but I have some people that I think I have a good idea of like how long to knit the foot and whatnot to make things like work out a little bit better with the sizing. That being said, one of my finished objects that I don't have with me was a pair of socks that I knit for a friend of mine, so I will insert a picture. These are the sailing school socks. They were part of one of the seasons of Helen Stewart's Handmade Sock Society. I can't recall which one, but they were knit out of some Hue Loco yarn. I think the colorway was called Professor Umbridge. It was one of the colorways that she used in her advent calendar that I had gotten a couple of years ago, and then she released some full skeins of some of the colorways, and I happened to grab that one. And I really like how the socks turned out. My friend really liked how they turned out. They like fit her really well. She really liked them. She liked the color, all of that. So that all turned out, good. So she's someone else that I think I can definitely be knitting some more things for. She was previously a knitter, but it tends to bother her hands a little bit. And she also like doesn't have the brain space when she's done with her job for knitting as much. So I will gladly knit for her because I really enjoy it, and I'm starting to hit this point where I have a lot of hand knits and I don't necessarily need more, which seems weird. Like, don't we always need more hand knits? But like, how you can only have so many shawls, you know, only so many pairs of socks. I already have so many pairs of socks. It's ridiculous. I have like a full basket and it's starting to like bleed over into another basket. I have a lot of socks. So as far as works in progress, I think that's everything that I had been working on before. I can't recall. I will link my Ravelry page down below as well that does have projects on it if you feel like you've missed something. I am keeping that updated much better than I was before. I think posting the weekly WIP posts on my Patreon, that's really been making me keep up with my Ravelry library or projects, I guess. And so I've really been keeping up with that. So that link will be down below as well if you're curious or you want to know more details or anything like that. That will be down below, as well as links to the patterns that I've been using and that I've been talking about. So I'll put that all down below for you in case you want to check out anything. Moving on to what I am currently working on. I did mention I have one more ball of Felici left, which is in my bag, which is like over there, because I haven't started using that part yet. I decided I wanted to knit another Sockhead Slouch hat because that's some vanilla knitting that I find to be just as portable and as easy as socks, and having some spare hats around is not necessarily a bad thing. And not only that, but like I'm thinking if we don't end up using the hat, we can gift it or donate it or something along those lines. But because I only have one 50-gram ball of Felici, and the other iterations of this hat that I've knit have used like just over 50 grams, I decided that I would knit the brim in a different color. And so I've been using this. This is what I've been using. I think it's called Frost. It's Knit Pick Stroll. I'm almost done with it. I just have like this tiny amount left. And I think I just want to knit it all into the brim and then start onto the stripes, because I don't really want any of this left. There's not really enough of it left to do anything with. And it's quite a long brim on that because you fold it up. So having it be a little bit longer isn't going to be like that big of a deal. I think it's like right about the right length. I'm thinking I might have like 1 or 2 more rounds left in what I have left. So I'm getting very close to being ready to add the stripes. And this is working really well for my on-the-go knitting, you know, waiting to pick up kids, Philip I've had to take Philip to a few Taekwondo lessons, so sitting there for his Taekwondo, it's been really useful. So always need to have some vanilla knitting that's portable. For me, I always need to have some. And that has been it recently. Now the other thing that I have been working on, I've been pretty monogamous lately, really, with my knitting. Just kind of like one project at a time, which is okay with me. And I'm fine with that. What I decided to do is I wanted to use up the rest of, I wanted to finish off my advent calendar from this year. And I got the Legacy Fiber Art advent calendar, which went along with a pattern, like a colorwork stocking. And there was quite a bit of each of the colors left over, and they were tonals, and they were very much like rainbow toned. So they were all the various colors of the rainbow. So I decided that what I wanted to do is I wanted to take those and put it into a sweater to give to Abby. And I kind of looked around for some patterns, and ultimately I decided to go with the Shady Side sweater by Samantha Guerin. I know Gabby from Plies and Hellhounds had knit this with like her advent calendar one year. And so I thought, well, this looks like this could work really well. I did make some slight modifications to the way that I was doing the striping because I had, the 24, 25 colors to put into it. So I did make that slight variation. And I have finished the body and I'm working on the first sleeve. So I'm going to show you how that is coming together right now. And then I'm not all that far on the sleeve, but it's coming along. And so it's a lot of it was just a lot of around and around. And like I said, I altered the way that I did the stripes so that they were actually thinner than what they called for in the pattern. And then in between the advent calendar colors, I was using this, which is the leftovers of my Gardengate pullover, the body. I am getting slightly concerned that I'm not going to have enough of this to finish. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. I may have to order another. This is just from Knit Picks, and I don't think it will be that big of a deal if I order a different or another skein and it comes from a different dye lot, because I think it's already like a tonal thing and it's not gonna go like right on top of it. So it's separated by those other colors. So I think if there was like a slight variation, I don't think it would be that big of a deal or that noticeable. I may have to do that. I don't know for sure yet. It just depends on how much that sleeve is gonna use. And then I'm doing the cuffs in that color as well as the neckband. So that's where I'm a little bit concerned. If it was just the stripes, I don't think I would have a problem. And I don't want to change it up because I've already done the hem of the sweater in that color, so I don't necessarily want the cuffs to be a different color. And I cast on you can kind of see on the edge, I cast on in that color to do the neckband. So I think I'm committed to this color as the neckband. So I may have to order another skein of it. Not that big of a deal. I'm pretty sure they still carry this colorway or something close. Hopefully they still carry that colorway. I think we'll be fine though. I'm not gonna stress about it too much. We'll figure it out when the time comes. But that's pretty much been it for what I've been knitting. So if you want to stick around, I'll give you a real quick chat about what's been going on in our world. If you only are here for the knitting, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. And if you want to stick around, then feel free. I would love for you to do so. So as far as life has been going, we are still very much dealing with a lot of the mental health issues that I mentioned last month. And that has been very energy consuming. And so I've been feeling a lot of extra heavy fatigue really this whole year, I've just really felt it quite heavily. I'm thinking that now that the weather, well, I say this as the weather is still really crappy, but as the hope of spring and things starting to improve weather-wise is getting here, that a lot of that mental health stuff will start to improve. That would be really nice. I know I'm really looking forward to being able to like go sit out on the back porch and enjoy some sunshine. That's something I'm very much looking forward to. And I know that always makes me feel a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to that, and warmer weather and being able to be outside, being able to open up windows and getting in fresh air and all of those things. So I feel like we're moving in the right direction. It's just been a really rough slog this winter, and it's been a little tough on me from the physical standpoint. I'm pretty exhausted, like all the time. I definitely am needing a nap or a rest in the day to really make it through the day. So all of those things I have to be very conscious of and working towards. So that's kind of where things are at as far as my health, the kids, all of that. We've been pretty consumed by a lot of this mental health stuff that's been happening. It's been a rough time, but I know it will get better. You know, it's not always going to be this way, and the weather is going to get nicer. That's going to help. We're doing all of the right things with mental health. It just takes time, you know, it takes time. It takes a lot of effort, and we are putting in the effort, and we're seeing small gradual improvements. There's been some adjustments made to some custody arrangements that are hopefully going to make this be easier, and fingers crossed that continues to hold. I think it's going to. It seems already like it maybe is making a bit of a difference. So there have been some changes with that I'm fine with and I'm open to, as long as my kids are in the best place and that they're safe. They feel safe, they can express themselves, and we can start to make things better on this mental health road. Then I'm for whatever changes we need to make, basically, because my kids' health and well-being is number one priority. So that's kind of where we are at with all of that. I feel like once a month videos right now is probably going to be the best thing for me, just because I have very low energy, and getting through the days isn't the easiest. And so I think we're going to kind of plan towards the beginning of the month. Every month I'll record a video. I would have recorded last weekend, but it was spring break and the kids were here. We didn't do anything for spring break. We just kind of hung out. Abby and I played The Sims. Phil he got an Oculus Quest, so he's been doing some VR stuff. And the weather was awful. I saw some friends. I mean, it was pretty low-key, pretty chill. Abby saw some friends. Phil saw a friend. It was all very low-key, and we needed that. We needed just some time to decompress where we didn't really need to worry about anything. And I think that has helped, too. So that's why I didn't record last week. I would have otherwise. I'm going to aim for like the first weekend of the month for getting these videos out and up. That's going to be my goal. I think that's a reasonable goal. Going to also work on a little bit more activity on the Discord. Again, just low energy levels make everything a little bit tougher. So with all of that being said, I'm going to stop rambling before things go off in directions that they don't need to go. And thank you all so much for being here, for taking time out of your busy schedules to just sit and chat with me for a little bit. I do really appreciate it. And have a good month of April. I hope spring is starting to settle in wherever you might be if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and that you're going to be able to get to enjoy some nice weather, because I think we're all ready for it. So have a great month of April, and I will see you again in about a month. And keep knitting, and I will talk to you then. Bye.